Why aren't golfers considering these golf clubs? Well, I've got mid-handicap John to test them for us.
That's actually something that I haven't seen before in a hybrid. Okay.
The name is off-putting.
Extreme forgiveness.
I can feel that in the swing.
That had a really weird noise.
That very clicky noise.
He tests the fairway woods and the hybrids.
Wow, that's difference in shape,
Well,
isn't it?
Clearly, it makes a difference.
The technology at play here got me thinking one thing. Why aren't the bigger brands actually utilising it? John is full of opinions, and that's why I love having genuine golfers out on the golf course with me, testing these clubs.
5-wooden driver feels and looks like. So
Brand new club. You've never heard of this brand before.
never heard of Tour Edge, no.
And actually don't know what's in this box. So we'll see. I know it's not a driver because we've already tested them. Well, it could be a putter, but hopefully it's not because it's on the range. I think, from memory, it is going to be a hybrid or something. Now, it amazes me when not amazes me actually, but it's quite interesting. Like you haven't heard of them because I've tested the driver, and we had Gary on here the other day, and he hadn't heard of them. Tested the driver, and actually, it was one of his favourite clubs he had tested. And I just don't think we hear about it that much over here. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got. This looks like a 3-wood. So we'll start with this. First thoughts, the head cover, by the way.
Looks for what you say might be a cheap club. This is a pretty decent quality head cover.
Now, I wouldn't say it's like cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than
reasonable.
The bigger brands. Yeah, I think the word is reasonable. It's probably the best option. Go on, I'll let you do the honours. Let's have a look at it.
Yeah, well, I can always see it's a nice looking shaft.
Oh, bit of carbon on the head.
Yeah, so I think, is this a 5?
I don't know,
it says
actually.
It's a 5.
This says it's a 5, is it a 5?
If it's for a small...
It's a 3.
It is a
3-wood, 15 degrees.
I suppose the head looks a bit small for a 3-wood.
Quite shallow
narrow,
here, isn't it?
Quite a narrow profile.
And does that put you... What are you using currently right now?
No, got a Cobra 5-wood and 3-wood.
So does it? Does that like sort of shallow look like something you'd use?
Yeah, that doesn't put me off. That doesn't put me off at all. It looks like a nice club. I quite like the look of the club.
Let's look what else we've got in here. I think we've got a hybrid. That's going to be a hybrid. This one. So these are the 2 clubs we've got. There is 4 in here, but they're just the same in different shafts. So we'll use these ones, I think. Yes. I'll let you do the honours on this one. Again, I think the head covers look really cool. I like a little bit of the white on it.
It is. I mean, it's a good quality head cover, definitely. This club has a bit of weight about it.
Do you like that feeling of something that feels weighted?
Yeah.
You know what that looks like? Did you ever have an Adams golf club?
I remember the name.
Yeah.
I've never played one. Yeah.
That looks like to me like the Adams hybrids that first came out. I had one and I was like, they're really cool looking. It almost looks like a bit of a halfway between a hybrid and a driving iron.
Yeah, it does have the feel of a driving iron from away. It's got almost like a teardrop, off-centered teardrop effect on the top.
And what loft is this one? So it's a 3, hybrid 3 or 19 degrees. Okay, so we're gonna hit a couple with each of them. Let's get your opinions, like your first looks, what it feels like, what it flies like, how does it go? Would it be something you'd game? Do you like the sound of it? I'll let you do the honours of taking the plastic off. I'll do that. I'm actually quite jealous. That looks cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this weighting system. I didn't realise that.
That's got movable weights on the back.
So you can make it more draw, more fade. Now that's actually something that I haven't seen before in a hybrid, because you can move it and nudge one or the other way. Because we often see that in drivers, but not necessarily in hybrids. I kind of like the matte look on that as well. Sort of like a matte finish.
Yeah, this definitely has a nice look on the ground. I quite like the matte finish on the top.
I like how the carbon's an insert.
Yeah.
And then I assume we've got sort of quite a heavy weight here, 10 gram weight towards the back. Extreme forgiveness.
Well, we'll see.
Now, would you usually use a 3-wood off the tee or off the deck? More so.
I used to love my 3-wood off the deck, but I've not been hitting it that well, so I usually only use it off a tee at the moment.
Okay, this could be a good test then to hit it off the deck.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes off the deck. Yeah.
Let's move this out of the way. Let's get some data on the go. And here comes the rain. I really like the matte finish.
Oh, it feels good.
Aren't they really good looking clubs?
They are. It does look really good. The sort of teardrop at the back looks like it extends a long way back, which is a bit different. But
does it scare you, the fact that you've not heard of the brand? Because I think a lot of people buy certain brands because it's like, oh, I've heard of that brand. It's almost like a new car coming out. If you've not heard of the brand before, you're a bit like,
I don't think if I was testing out clubs, unless someone handed this club to me, I wouldn't even pick it up because I've never heard of them. So definitely the name is off-putting, but yeah, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Because you're not the first person to say that. But then, well, let's hit 3 away. Let's get some numbers. So just to have a baseline here, what would you expect to sort of hit total distance on your 3-wood? When would you pull it out the bag, roughly?
I'd want my 3-wood to go over 200 yards, but not much over, so like 210, something
Perfect.
Like
Because you're sort of around the 230-ish with the driver, so that'll be a sort of a good sort of gapping.
Yeah.
And do you carry 5-wood as well?
I do.
Okay. So, right, we're going to hit these off the deck. So this is a real test, because you said you've been struggling.
I've been struggling off the deck, yeah, definitely.
Now, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Go back to our lesson. Why would you be struggling off the deck?
Yeah.
Lifting it up into the air, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see you, as you improve on this, getting into that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Sound?
Don't mind the sound. I mean, it's clicky, but I think that's the ball rather than the club.
Yeah, we are using, just to let you know, really soft, soapy range balls. So that was 177 yards. Okay. I think you've got a better strike than that as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that didn't feel, I didn't hit that particularly well, but it still went out there.
But in terms of like the sound, what was it? You said clicky. Why is it clicky?
Again, I think that's just the ball rather than the club.
Okay.
The actual strike felt good on the club.
Good. And down behind the ball, is there anything that you're sort of picking up? Is it the white? Is it the carbon? Is it anything like you?
No, the only thing that I see when I look down is actually on the back of the club, there is some white writing.
Yeah.
And that it sort of draws my eye away from the ball. It's a bit strange.
Okay.
But not in a bad way. It just looks a long way back.
Just try to lift that on a little bit. And one more.
Oh, that's a better strike.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Really good. 183.
Okay. Which, I mean, I suppose on a cold day, that's not so disappointing. And I'm hitting it off the deck as well. So that's
for sure.
pretty encouraging.
It's the first time we've ever hit it.
Yeah.
Right, okay, just do one more for me. I think you're getting into that club a little bit. Yeah. Let's just sit forward with it, and then we're going to get this hybrid iron out. So things that I actually like about this, I actually quite like the white on a face. Is that something you like?
The one thing that I do see is some loft, which gives me a bit of encouragement when I'm standing over the ball. You can see that it's clearly a lofted three wood. It's a smart looking club when you look down at these.
It is, isn't it? Like if someone said to you that's the, let's put inverted commas, the big boys, you could be like, yeah, to be fair, I know that. And that's the interesting thing in the UK, that no one's really heard of them, but actually the numbers don't lie. Oh,
that's a nice strike.
That sounded really good. 197.
Yeah, which off the deck is pretty good. Yeah, no, it performs well, this club.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We said around the 200.
Yeah.
And we're 197. To be fair, like what I liked about that one more, just to go into something technical here, 0 minus 0.9.
Yeah, hitting more down.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas the first few, you were a little bit on the Scooby side, and that's why they launched a little bit low, a little bit off the bottom.
Yeah.
Whereas that, you actually got into that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, we're talking a bit of technical here. But that excites me, the fact that you're learning, and that's... If you'd put the same swing on and start with your driver lesson on that, I could see why you weren't hitting your 3-wood very well.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right. So give me a rating out of 10 with that. What are your thoughts? In terms of overall looks?
Overall looks, it's definitely sort of like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
That is a smart looking club. Nothing about it puts me off at all. And from a performance point of view, similar sort of thing, 8 or 9. It's really, it got it out there. Feels great when you make good contact with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
And bear in mind, you're not even fitted for this.
Yeah.
This is just something
that's just out the
literally
back,
literally out the packet. Everybody just saw that. I actually really like. It's grown on me this bit. I'm looking at it now because obviously it's the first time I'm seeing it. This bit here, how it comes in, and it's almost like they got a shell, and to save weight, we've sort of just thrown some carbon in there to get that. Yeah, to me, it sort of sits a little bit, and that's what I like, and I think this will suit most people. It sort of looks a little closed, but with loft. And I think for a lot of people who see a ball go this way, do you know what I mean there? Just
yeah.
It's not that it's got offset, but it looks a little bit like
so
that.
actually when you put it straight down, it does point a tiny weeny bit left.
Only a little bit.
But not in a shocking way. Yeah, just the way it sits on the ground.
Yeah, and I think for most people that's going to be a little bit confidence inspiring. Well, that's what you used to do a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's see some of these hybrids. So this is 19 degrees, the Fairway wood was 15 degrees. What would you sort of expect do you carry a 3 hybrid?
Yeah, my 3 hybrid, that's about a 190.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would expect maybe hopefully something around that on this one.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see this weight, like...
Yeah, I think this one is a little bit more odd looking, but I've just never played a
What don't you like about it then? Because you can be like, this is totally honest.
It's like an asymmetrical teardrop on the back of the club.
Yeah.
And it just slightly off-putting. But again, there's weight in it and a slightly small head.
Yeah.
But I feel like let's see what it'll do.
Yeah, I mean, look, so there is going to be some clubs, and when we go through these honest, open reviews, there's going to be something where you pick it up and you go, you know what, I'm not sure I like the look of that. So what I want to do here is...
And the one thing I am finding, just someone swinging that, is it has a lot of weight on it. I can feel that in the swing. And
do you like that? Is that something you like? I know where the club is more, or is that a bit off-putting?
For me, this feels like it's a bit more effort to swing.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And this is because it's not fit for you, but let's just go with this.
Again, I always want to see what it does before I start talking about what it looks like. Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to hit 3 with the weight where it is, then 1 in each of the other positions, and let's see if we actually...
this thing on the back.
Yeah,
of course,
we'll have a little test with that.
Yeah.
That had a really weird noise.
That very clicky noise.
That had a really weird noise. It almost... I know it's hollow, but it sounded very... I don't know. Let's just tap that face. It has got a weird noise there, hasn't it?
It has a ring, yeah.
Like a bell on a bike.
Yes, did it again. Yeah, so I think that's just the noise of the club.
Okay, so how far would you say?
I mean, that one went further.
Yeah, definitely.
Slightly closed club face on that one. So.
That there went 182 yards.
Yeah, that's pretty good distance for this club.
Yeah, and for what...
What I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yes, no, exactly that.
Gorgeous strike, just a little bit open with the face.
Yeah.
Okay, thoughts on that club after you now hit 3?
At the moment, it's not giving me tons of confidence. And I wonder whether it's because of the weight of it. I'm not feeling where that club face is.
Yeah.
I found that one a lot harder to hit straight than even that 3 would.
Yeah. That would definitely have a role to play.
Yeah.
So let's have a little play around with this. I'm interested to see how this actually works. God, my hands are so cold. It's hard for me to actually move my hands right now. So there's, so this is interesting. So look how that works. So it comes out fully, then you just pop it in. There's 3 different holes. So should we put it in the draw?
Yes. Let's see what that does.
I don't think fade's me beneficial for us, so I think we'll just test it in the draw.
Yeah.
So we'll hit 2 in the draw. And it'd be interesting, do you feel the weight in the club? Before you hit any shots, I just want you to make some swings and tell me if it feels different. Like, can you feel the weight anywhere different in the head? Does it feel like it's controlling it differently? So essentially, when you put the weight in towards the heel, the toe will close quicker. Oh my Lord, my hands won't move. Why won't you go in? Oh my God. Taking my full concentration to move this. Why won't you go in? That is a little bit of feedback. This is actually a bit of faff to get in.
Fiddly, especially on a freezing cold day.
Even more so, like, I just think it's a bit, like other ones that stay in, it's a little bit easier to do. But actually, like, that's, for usability, that's maybe, I'm not saying it's going to affect the performance, but if it's a bit of a faff to do. I wouldn't anticipate it would make too much of a difference, like feel-wise. Wow, that's difference in shape, isn't it?
Definitely a different shape.
I wouldn't have anticipated it would have made that much difference. Is that a good thing for you if a club makes that much difference?
Well, if it's that that's done it rather than me, then clearly it makes a difference. You set it up and then play with that shape. I mean, obviously, ordinarily, if I'd seen that happen 2 or 3 times on a range, I'd now be aiming a bit further over that way. I don't mind there being shape on it, but it has made a dramatic difference to the actual shape.
Yeah.
The other ones were straight, left, right.
Yeah.
And down the middle. That one has definitely drawn in the air.
Probably too hard to say if it's just the club or you right now. But yeah, let's hit 2 more with this in this there. I want to see this. That's really got me thinking that.
Oh, there you go. So that's actually faded slightly.
I would say there's maybe a little bit out the heel there. Hence why that one didn't really curl back. And just 1 more. So that sound, is that a little bit off-putting maybe? Is it good?
It's not good, but I don't know if it puts me off so much.
Beautiful shot. You definitely know it's a different club, don't you?
Yeah, you know, my first reaction to seeing what I've just hit, 6 balls, and they've all gone in a different direction. That would not give me confidence with this golf club.
Dispersion is definitely bigger.
Yeah.
So if you look at you here with the 3 iron in the green, a lot wider.
Yeah.
Whereas look at you in terms of, apart from this one here, you got a little bit, it's the first one you hit, the bottom one. Really quite good with the 3 wood.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I'd like to see this jump up a bit and the 3 would go definitely further, but I think maybe a little more loft would help you do that. Yeah. So maybe more like a 3 high launch, or turning that into sort of a 4 wood, or having the 5 would be a really good thing for us to try. If we had one, it'd be really good to sort of throw that in there. But let's have a look at all the shots here. So 3 wood distance, average 176, but you had 197 in there when you started to really warm up. The first and second shot did us in a little bit with the averages. So interestingly, if you took that out and you said, okay, what's our best 3 from there? Let's have a look at that now. Look how it bumps up.
Yeah.
And then if we look at the dispersion down here, look how tight that is.
Yeah.
Really very good.
I did really like that club, yeah.
And then if we go in terms of ball speed, we see 120 over 112. The only thing that I was, like I say, really see here is the fact that it's really gone quite low.
Yeah.
So having it a bit higher would be the golden nugget of how you get it going further. And that shaft has a role to play with it, a loft has a role to play with that. And then if we just go into the final thing here of, we've done ball speed, club head speed, 80.9 and 81. You actually swung the iron heavier, which you felt was heavier, faster,
it felt heavier.
than you did the, and it's only feel, isn't it? It's only feel.
Exactly.
So that was that. Okay, and then in terms of, if you look at the overall with the total 169 with the 3 iron, what you've got in your hand.
Yeah. I mean, I felt that as a harder club to hit than the other one.
So give me
still
an
got a good distance by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't feel the love for this golf club. Whereas the other one, I've hit a few balls with it, and straight away it just felt good.
I think also you were more on board with the look of that one. So you're like, right, okay, I can see that, I can feel that, I can trust it. Whereas straight away we look at this and we're a bit like, I can't quite see it, don't quite like it. And what is it you don't quite like about that then?
I don't know. I don't mind the smoky shaft thing. Yeah. But when I just put the club down, there's a slight offset on the golf club. It feels like that's a bit further back, and I'm just not really that keen on the asymmetric top of that club. It's just not this. It's
more up here, isn't there, than there?
Looks like there's more club out towards the toe, and
I think the only benefit with that club is you can move the weight, and I think it does have some role to play. So that's a good benefit.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it, to play around with those weights and
hit way more shots. Yeah, for sure. But at face value, I think it would be better if it was slightly bigger. It's a bit too much like a driving iron, in my opinion. Now I know it might be aimed at being more of a driving iron, but when I see sort of this on the bottom, this sort of shape, I think, well, okay, people that are going to use this are probably going to be someone who wants to launch it a little bit higher, replacing a 3 iron. So having a bit more size, I think, is a benefit. You can loft this up as well, and you can make it more upright. So for golfers who miss it off to the right, lofting it up and making it more upright would.
There's lots of adjustment in this club. That's one thing that's quite positive in what is effectively just like a hybrid.
And does adjustment mean more value to you, or does adjustment not bothered about it?
The thing I like about the adjustment is that if you can set the club up the way that you like it, and over time your swing can change ever so slightly, and that then this club can then stay in your bag because it's not the wrong club anymore. So I like the fact that this club is adjustable to move with your swing as your swing changes, because from week to week. I'm not the sort of player that will be changing this club every time I set up a golf.
No, it could be season to season.
But if I see a trend happening in my game, then I would be potentially putting more loft on this club or taking a bit of loft off.
Yeah, so for example, if you were missing it constantly off to the right, you can make it a little more upright to stop that happening. Yeah. I think it's a really interesting club. I really love the 3-wood. I think the 3-wood's an ace club. This sounds a little weird. Yeah. And like you say, the sort of asymmetric, it looks quite small, quite hard to hit. And I think I always question, like, how many golfers are going to pick that out of the bag and go, you know what, that looks inviting.
That gives me confidence.
Yeah,
I'm going to smash
whereas you got that off that club.
I did, yeah.
Super interesting. And in terms of the brand, would you look at thinking about it a bit more?
I definitely would. I've never heard of Tour Edge before, but I'd be fascinated to see if this is their 3-wood, what their 5-wood and driver feels and looks like. So yeah, I'd look them up.
Right, well, thanks for giving us your opinion.
No problem.
Thanks for testing them. And thanks so much for watching. This is an honest review of the new Tour Edge, Fairway woods and hybrid / we're going to say driving iron with great adjustability.